Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to talk about the new Netflix show that came out. It's called Adolescence, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to talk about how interesting the plot is and how unexpected it was. So if you haven't watched it, spoilers might be there, but basically what I want to talk about is how initially when you start watching the TV show, like when you start it off, when you realize okay, for those who have not watched it and who's not planning to watch it, think again. But what happens is there's this kid who is a teenager. I think he's like 13 years old, and he commits a crime. He kills a girl who is a bit elder than him, a few years, and he does that by stabbing the girl. So initially you feel like maybe this is just another crime show because you don't really know what's happening, like you're just trying to guess whether he did it or not, whether he's getting wrongfully convicted for it. But when you realize in the very first episode there he's brought up for questioning. He's just sleeping in his bed, and they're bringing him, like they come inside the house, they raid the house and take him because he has done such a huge heinous crime. And then the father and the entire family is like shocked about it, right? So when they've taken him in, the father is also allowed to stay in with him, and the father, initially they don't even know why they are being taken in. Like that's how the entire plot is. Like we don't know who the victim is or anything. But then later they reveals that this child has killed a girl and has stabbed the girl in a car park also. And they say the crime and they question him, and the father is there, and the father asks, it's okay even if you did it or not. Tell me, just tell me the truth. And then he's like, I didn't do it. And then the detectives play the CCTV footage, and you can clearly see him doing it. And this is on the first episode, so it's obvious that he has done it. So the plot is about what causes him to do it, or more like, again, a psychological perspective as to why a child might do something like that. And something that's brought up is about the red pill and Tate Andrews theory about this toxic masculinity, like to show power and all of that. And on set you feel like he's in the wrong, and this is just the girl have done something wrong, like the girl is just killed because she didn't like him or something like that. And then towards the last episode, which is only like 4 episodes by the way, they reveal that he has this conversation with a psychologist for a psych evaluation, and it's that's the most chilling for me, at least. And there's another one, the last episode, where the parents kind of deal with it, but this one was very chilling. It's this conversation, and the actor is brilliant. He's a kid, and apparently they've taken it in one long shot. They have not even taken breaks in between, so it's like a 50-minute long, it's all natural. And at one point he yawns and smiles, and apparently that's I thought that was all scripted, but it's very natural, by the way, right? And that's when he kind of admits that the child has asked this girl out. Some of these girls' nudes have been like, it was leaked, and like it was going around on Snapchat, and he thought that because of that he can go and ask the girl out because she's in a weak spot, because she's feeling fragile, like one of her boyfriends has done that to her, like sent pictures. So he asks out and she rejects him, and then she kind of trolls him, like, I don't want to give all the details as to why, like, as if you've seen there's this movie, I can't remember it, where this, oh my god, I can't remember it, okay, but like this girl goes like, as if, like, like, yeah, so like as if he can date, like that kind of vibe. And that actually pisses the boy off, like, and you'll see at some point, which is why I think this hit me so much. Like, he asks, like, do you, like, the psychologist and this boy is having a conversation, and they ask, like, do you like, what, like, his perspective about himself, and somehow it comes like he's ugly, like, and he's not ugly, like, the actor is not ugly at all, but this child really believes that he's ugly and he has no chance with women, which is again like a Tate Andrews thing, which is what this girl is kind of trolling him for on the internet. After he asks out and gets rejected, he kind of like sends innuendos, or like shows that, you know, you'll never like, you, like, apparently it's like the boy, because there are only 80% of the population is women, and 20%, apparently that's how they've quoted it, 20% is men, that some of them will never get like any action, or like never have any chance with a woman and things like that. And somehow the girl he ends up killing has like shown that he's kind of a person who'll never have a chance with that. And it's commented on his Instagram post, and initially the detectives don't even realize it because it's like slang, right? It's like apparently they have like a hidden way of typing it, like the language, the emojis, they have a different interpretation. But it also shows the detectives, and the detective's child is also in the same school, so he kind of helps them out, but their relationship as well, the father and the son. But here also there's a lot of they have used a lot of they try to show their relationship, the father and the son who has committed the crime. But like I said, it's that the fact that he thinks he's ugly and he has no chance, and somewhere even before I think the girl kind of does it, like kind of brings this problem along, like I think he does believe that he's not good enough, and like somehow he'll never be good enough for women. And then when the girl kind of does this, which is literally bullying, it kind of sets him off, which then justifies his killing. And there's this one line he says, which was crazy, right? So he says, like, when he met her, like when he kills her, but he stalks her and kills her, if I'm not mistaken. My memory is pretty bad. But like, it's the fact that he says, like, I didn't even, like, I didn't touch her, I didn't do anything, when all the other boys in school like violated her. I didn't do that. Because of that, I'm better, right? That entire thing is so, it's like such a misunderstanding from his side, because you don't get better just like you killing her is like a massive crime, but in his head that's justified because he didn't touch her or violate her or do anything like that, so that makes him better. And don't quote me on this, but I think someone said he always says, I didn't do it, I didn't do something wrong, I didn't do something wrong, when they ask them, you know, like, did you do it? And apparently that's to show that he doesn't think what he did was wrong, you know. And that's actually bone chilling, because he's a 13-year-old, you have so much compassion for the child, and the child has got bullied, which kind of sends the viewer, like the audience is like, okay, now what do? Do we forgive the person or not? Because the child got bullied. Because you realize the victim itself is not really good, not really a kind person, so how do you do it? Or also, like, she's just being a girl, right? She's also a young girl, doesn't give her the chance to bully, but like the fact that she rejected him or thinks that he's just not in his league is cool. But I mean, that's kind of normal with girls, but the entire commentary and the bullying on Instagram is not good. That's not justified in my eyes. And the killing it's absolutely horrendous. But I think a part of me also kind of understands the kind of, when you have such a weak core or self-esteem or self-confidence, and when you realize that you're ugly and you don't, you know, you get bullied for something like that, because if you don't have a strong core to kind of defend, and that is something a lot of teenagers go through at that age, because you don't necessarily feel like you're the prettiest anyway. So like when someone kind of threatens that, you don't take it well at all, right? So that anger and it's quite, you can see it from human perspective. But the next episode is also quite chilling, because they show how the parents kind of grieve it, and they're blaming themselves, and they get trolled by other people because the child is a killer. You should watch it because it's just really sad. But at some point, even during the interview, the psychologist kind of tried to get his relationship with his father to find this where this masculinity problem comes from. And he says like his father liked certain things like football and took him to a football match, and then he was trying to play, like they were trying to, he couldn't score goals, and he looked at his father, and the father was not even looking at him, like, you know, he was so ashamed of how he can't perform as a man. And then that conversation is brought up with the mother, and after the child has gone to prison, and he says on a call that he accepts, he's not taking the plea, which means he's going to plead guilty for the crime. And the entire conversation with the mother and the father, like, where did I go wrong? Because my father, like the father says his father used to beat him up, and he tried so bad not to be that, and I want the child to be toughened up. So he takes the child to football and all this boxing, and he doesn't do well, and everyone was laughing at him, like all the other fathers, and I didn't even look at him. So I really don't know whether he felt ashamed of the kid, or more like he just realized he can't toughen him up, or that now he blames himself for trying to toughen him up. You know, he didn't have to be that. But that's up to interpretation again. But the fact that at the end he has a sister as well, so like how the entire family has to now survive without the kid, and like how the house is just different, you know. Just imagine, like, probably none of us, I mean, I don't have a personal experience of someone going to prison and how the house feels after that. But it's when a person goes missing, even from death, like there's this kind of, I don't know, there's something about it, like the house doesn't feel like a home anymore, like at least not the same way, you know. There's a difference in that. And at the end he goes, and he goes to the child's bedroom, which was the same scene they start the series with, where he's taken into prison, and the father starts crying inside the bedroom, and then he kind of he has this little teddy bear tucked in his sheets, and he takes him and he kisses the teddy bear, and he says like goodbye or sorry or something like that, which is really chilling to watch, because it's like he finally admits that the child is a killer, right? And at one point, this is also important because the mother kind of speaks about how he's always in the room and he's always locked, and at around 1 or 2 I'll come inside the house, like I'll come near the room and call his name, and the lights just go off. And he asked for a computer, we got him a computer, you know, like basic things that parents would do. And then that self-blaming kind of comes up again, you know, like I never knew he was capable of it, you know. And then he also gets into fights when he's like kept in detention, like, you know, before the trial is going on, I guess. And then he gets into fights. There's this aggression part in him. And even with the psychologist, because the psychologist is a woman, you'll really see that contrast between masculinity and how he wants to be seen from a woman. And I think that's something a lot of men I've seen personally keep carrying even when you grow up, because the ways that you want to be seen or how you portray masculinity kind of takes a turn when you grow up, and not everyone is going to be a killer or whatever, so that's not really coming out. But you kind of understand, you know, these are the men that you kind of have to deal with, and sometimes they are confused themselves, which I have a lot of sympathy for as well. But yeah, I think this was such an eye-opening series, and the audience is honestly, I don't know, for me it was like when I watched the last parts, I didn't know like whether I should blame him or not, because bullying is such a sensitive topic to me as well. But on the other hand, women is a big topic for me as well. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my video, and subscribe to it, leave comments, like, whatever, and I'll come up with a new video very soon. Bye.